Fortnitemares 2022 was initially teased by Epic Games to be upcoming on the 18th of October 2022. This further got confirmed today by them adding update 22.20 being the Fortnitemares update for this year in itself onto the staging servers. For those that don't know, the Halloween event in Fortnite is the second biggest we see throughout the entire annual year, so it's vital today with us having so much intel about what's upcoming that you stick around until the end of today's video, as you also just witnessed a mirror get smashed, which means 7 years bad luck. If you don't, I wouldn't risk it. However, very quickly before we dive into it all, one favour I ask of you guys, considering it takes 2 seconds and is 100% free to do, is enter my creator code FM1 3 digits inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button now, as we're on our first initial push to 3 million subscribers, and after all, it only benefits you, as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with that said, now enough messing around, you won't believe some of the content upcoming this Fortnitemares 2022, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Before we go any further, a huge thank you to Opera GX for kindly sponsoring today's video, being a special version of the Opera browser built specifically for gamers. This is hands down the best browser, or the only browser you'll ever need to use on your desktop, which is now expanded, believe it or not, to actually a mobile version, GX Mobile, which can be connected to the desktop version, which you can download right now at the top of the video description down below or in the pinned comment. But here's some of its best features. I think we can all agree some of the best or most memorable events in Fortnite involve music, such as Travis Scott's Astronomical Concert, Marshmello, or Ariana Grande, which of course all sadly only lasted for a limited time. Well, what if I told you now with the GX player option, this never has to end as we endlessly browse. Simply go over to the sidebar upon loading up Opera GX, which takes seconds upon downloading it, and display the music apps in the player section, which then gives us a multitude of apps to instantly stream your desired music through. Say goodbye to saying where we dropping boys off the battle bus, and say hello to saying where we dropping boys in the Opera GX corner section. Within here you can scope out the best legendary loot or free deals for games that are currently out or new releases, and even breaking news for games in one easy to access place. There's even a built-in VPN and honestly so many more features, which you should explore now from clicking the link at the top of the video description down below or in the pinned comment to download Opera GX on desktop today or GX Mobile. With all that out of the way, diving into our first point, 2 new items were added today, October 11th, in a hotfix. Firstly being, as you can see from the trailer in the background, the goo gun, which was leaked in 22.10 initially. Despite it getting its own trailer today that Fortnite have introduced and uploaded to their YouTube channel officially, this was shown off for the first time, teased early in the Season 4 Battle Pass trailer, and despite the shield bubble being unvaulted in this hotfix today, October 11th, the second item that was newly introduced, which didn't get shown off early in trailer form or anything other of the sort, is the throwable launch pad, which now allows us to obviously throw a launch pad instead of placing it on an already built structure, building a small structure around it. Despite the chrome on the map not spreading anymore though, of course we're going to be seeing the next development for this in Fortnitemares when the downtime update does occur on the 18th, as soon as the event releases. On to our second point though, until that update does commence, of course we only have a select few Fortnitemares or Halloween based skins currently in the files that are unreleased. Despite me showing a full list of all the unreleased cosmetics within Fortnite's game files right now that they could add for any reason at any particular time, if you didn't manage to catch the Sinister Glare skin, being this hand one with an eye in the middle and this being the full set in reward screen form, and also the Undying Sorrow skin, again with me showing the full set on screen that will come along with the skin upon purchase or as a bundle. Despite this being our first official look at the skins, of course we've known for a while, considering they won this contest that Fortnite hosted, that they would be coming to the game. Speaking of a skin that is upcoming around the Fortnitemares period, or literally just before it ends anyways, for those that haven't seen this season's coming soon or unlockable skin, being the Herald, initially introduced to us in the Chapter 3 Season 3 cinematic trailer, looking at the reality tree, which she seems to also now still be doing in-game, at the Herald Sanctum POI that she's created from raising the chrome. Even though this is what she looks like early unlocked in reward screen form, with all the cosmetics on page 1, as you can see from the bonus section of where we can go to preview these rewards in-game, everybody right now without us having them unlocked, there is a second page of rewards that are still yet to be revealed, even in-game, before we can unlock them. These will either be updated into the game's files or the game itself in version 22.20, so we can see what is here to grind for, or who knows, considering they're already testing 22.40 being the last update of Chapter 3 Season 4, perhaps they're even released to end off Fortnitemares 22.30 being the next update after the Fortnitemares 2022 update in itself, late October. And for those that don't know, the first time we can unlock the Herald skin and all the other rewards that we currently know of, even page 2 before we do know what they are, is November 3rd, 2022. And despite the downtime revealing cosmetics, including the free rewards we'll be able to earn in this year's Halloween or Fortnitemares 2022 event, events, as other than Winterfest, this is typically the biggest event we see in terms of the amount of free rewards we can earn per year, with Epic Games already revealing the first official image displaying, well, what's going to be upcoming or implying what's going to be included in this year's Winterfest 2022 event. Even though this is teasing the 2022 Christmas event way in advance without getting too ahead of ourselves, what's been teased right in front of our eyes since the release of Stranger Things Season 4, of course. Literally everybody's been wanting this to be implemented into the game right now, and no, I'm not talking about the POI replacing Shifty Shafts in itself being added, rather so what it implies from the prop, particularly this grandfather clock being added into Vecna's house. For those that aren't familiar with the Stranger Things show but have heard of the character Vecna and think this would be a really cool skin in Fortnite, around the time of Stranger Things Season 4 releasing, many people speculated it would be collaborated into Fortnite, considering we've seen a prior collab with Stranger Things introducing at the Mega Mall in Chapter 1 Season 9 the Upside Down portals, and also these cosmetics, the Chief Hopper and Demogorgon skin throughout the item shop. With this not coming to be back then, although now they've introduced this with a direct reference to Vecna, considering this grandfather clock is one of the visions he makes his victims have a day before they die, this means they were simply holding off for a more spooky or fitting time to add Vecna into the item shop and collaborate Stranger Things once again, which we don't have an official look at yet, but tons of concepts have been made in the community since all the hype surrounding him. Speaking of hype things upcoming, despite the return of caretakers on the Fortnite Island, which I'm guessing means also the return of the sideway bubbles, which of course was the only area they could spawn in on the Chapter 2 Season 8 island, as it's been confirmed that Horde Rush will be returning on the Chapter 3 island, and with people being able to access this early, as you're seeing early gameplay of in the background right now. Although the boss health bar represents, well, the final thing we need to defeat in Horde Rush being a caretaker, what if I told you guys there's an even bigger and hugely new boss that we've never seen before, worked on by Epic Games, which has large resemblances to the Storm King, as not only were tons of game files updated for this season to be reintroduced, but there's also been many other new mechanics for this particular boss implemented, such as a rising feature and the ability for it to drop a brand new mythic that we're currently in the dark as to what it is yet. And even if they were just to reintroduce the Storm King LTM, this would be actually kinda hype, considering the first time it released in Chapter 2 Season 1 at the centre of our Battle Royale island back then, this was not only a tremendously good way to earn XP, but they introduced perhaps the best looking umbrella, in my opinion anyways, that we could earn from playing this particular mode and completing the Fortnitemares challenges. Let me know down below in the comments which is your favourite umbrella, and despite it being a long time before the Storm King has returned, despite the implications that it would, as the Rift Tour doesn't really count considering this is a fixed event. Moving on, something else that's been kind of a long time coming that many people have forgotten about, as you can see, what was leaked or rumoured to be upcoming in the Season 2 Battle Pass for Chapter 3 is a Freddy Krueger skin. Let's just say this hasn't been forgotten about, as what if I told you Fortnite have not only teased this notorious Halloween character to be upcoming rotating throughout the item shop this Fortnitemares, but also another in the official Fortnitemares announcement tweet for 2022. As you can see, it reads, "'Tis the season of screams, bad dreams and all monstrous things. Fortnitemares returns October 18. Of course, the wording of this tweet is what's most interesting, despite the teaser of this fox-like character in the background that everybody seems to not be talking about right now, as Screams is obviously referencing a Scream collaboration or skin, and Bad Dreams, for those that don't know, is direct reference to Freddy Krueger, as in the films A Nightmare on Elm Street, nobody wants to go to sleep, any of the normal victims or characters anyways, as Freddy Krueger obviously preys on them from appearing in their nightmares. And I'm just saying, with the recent release of X23 and with Fortnitemares adding a boss such as Shadow Midas in the last Season 4 of Chapter 2 Halloween event that we saw, with his own limited time Halloween themed mythic Shadow Drum Gun, considering Wolverine's mythics have been updated a lot since, but Wolverine as an NPC or boss has never returned to the Battle Royale island since Chapter 2. Who knows, perhaps we not only get Freddy Krueger as a mythic boss on the island, but drops an ability for us to use his claws like Wolverine's, or having the same stats but looking slightly different. And despite us briefly referring back to Shadow Midas with his Halloween themed POI revamped anyways at the agency, of course with this being the first Fortnitemares on our Chapter 3 island, it's the first time we're going to see it full of Halloween decorations, and the first time we're also going to be seeing the Halloween battle bus fly over it. And speaking of the map being decorated Halloween, who knows, perhaps we get some new wildlife surrounding Halloween, particularly returning from the dead, as this would be the most fitting time now with the skull being teased that Clombos, all of them were extinct off the Fortnite island at the bottom of the Rave Cave since the beginning of Chapter 3 Season 3. Considering Peely managed to rise from the dead, but, well, half of him anyways, considering half his skeleton, who's to say Clombos can't make the same comeback considering their Clomberries stayed on the Fortnite island after they were extinct or wiped off it indefinitely. Clombos were vaulted, for those that don't know, in Chapter 3 Season 1. We never saw them in Chapter 3 Season 2, although they did get updated in the game's files to be now killable and drop a tremendous amount of loot and meat. And then in Chapter 3 Season 3, upon its starting, they updated a Clombo dance which looks like this in early gameplay form that data miners managed to pull in early, which obviously occurs upon on dancing near one or emoting with particular sounds occurring, so the Clombos can vibe out to whatever you're dancing to. On top of the fact some people speculate they're not only going to be returning undead but with wings, as flying animals are going to be soon introduced to Battle Royale, as it was not only confirmed by data miners but teased in the Cypher PK Icon series skin documentary, where something flies over his head and makes a monstrous growl and he makes this face. All I'm saying is, even though the Halloween event for every year in Fortnite is completely huge and has a ton of hype surrounding it, this would take it to that next level, with the final and most interesting spooky surprise being that it's been revealed in the Byte Quest that the Herald is a part of the last reality, being the same faction or team that the Cube Queen is from. If it wasn't already obvious by the similarities of their goals to consume the island in whatever they can produce to sweep over it, such as the Sideways or the Chrome, with them both referring to the Nothing and wanting it to be all that remains once they've took over the Battle Royale island or this reality. Considering Epic Games are already testing now the final update of this season, it's safe to say, with us knowing that there's going to be a live event prior to this season even starting, as we didn't get one for Chapter 3 Season 3, that the ending of Season 4 on December 3rd is going to be absolutely huge. And if that wasn't already obvious by what I've mentioned, well, we're going into a 2-day downtime, so does that mean Chapter 4 potentially? Slap a like in this video if you want to see that next season, and make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications on to catch my next video covering a potential leaked map on it. In terms of other videos, make sure to click the one I picked out for you specifically on screen right now, however, but most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in the very next upload on the channel.